She looked like any ordinary little girl. Short brown hair, freckles, a shy smile. But behind her innocent eyes hid one of the most disturbing minds in British history. In 1968, the UK was rocked by the unthinkable. An 11-year-old girl had killed. Not once, but twice. This is the story of Mary Bell. Mary Flora Bell was born on May 26, 1957, in Newcastle upon Tyne. Her childhood wasn't just troubled, it was a nightmare. Her mother, Betty Bell, was a known sex worker who gave birth at 17 and allegedly tried to give Mary away multiple times. Once, even to a stranger on the street. By age 5, Mary had witnessed more than most adults. Some reports claim she was forced to perform inappropriate acts with her mother's clients. Others say she was sexually abused and beaten regularly. What's not up for debate? Mary grew up in a home filled with violence, neglect, and silence. On May 25, 1968, just a day before her 11th birthday, Mary killed for the first time. Her victim, Martin Brown, a 4-year-old boy. Martin was found in an abandoned house in Scotswood. At first glance, there were no obvious wounds, no blood, no broken bones. Investigators initially thought it was an accident, but Mary had strangled him. Later, Mary and her friend, 13-year-old Norma Bell, no relation, broke into a local nursery school and left terrifying notes. "We did murder Martin Brown." Police dismissed them as childish pranks. But Mary didn't stop. Just 2 months later, on July 31, 1968, she struck again. This time, the victim was Brian Howe, just 3 years old. Brian was last seen playing with Mary and Norma. Hours later, his body was discovered in a field. He had been strangled, just like Martin, but this time, the killer went further. Mary had cut off bits of his hair, scratched his thighs, and used a razor blade to carve the letter M into his stomach. This was not an accident, it was calculated. And perhaps most chilling, Mary returned to the scene later, pretending to help search for Brian, while knowing exactly where he was. Viral witnesses reported seeing Mary with Brian on the day of his death. One of her classmates even claimed Mary had boasted about the killing, describing it with eerie precision. When questioned, Mary was cold and defensive. Norma, on the other hand, broke down and confessed. Both girls were arrested. But even in custody, Mary taunted the police. She told them, Brian had no mother, so he won't be missed. In December 1968, Mary Bell, now 11 years old, stood trial at Newcastle Assizes. The court was packed. Reporters from across the UK came to witness this child killer in court. Psychiatrists described Mary as intelligent, manipulative, and showing signs of psychopathy. She showed little remorse. Norma Bell was found not guilty. Mary was convicted of manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. The judge called her a very grave danger to other children. Mary Bell was sentenced to indefinite detention. She spent years in various young offender institutions and secure facilities. And in 1980, at just 23, she was released, with a new name and identity. She later had a daughter, who never knew her mother's true past until journalists uncovered it. In 2003, the UK High Court granted Mary Bell lifetime anonymity, a legal protection so rare, it's used only in extreme cases. Today, she lives somewhere in the UK. Her identity remains a secret. Mary Bell's case shocked a nation, and the world thought a killer before she was even a teenager. Story of innocence corrupted, and justice blurred. If you found this story chilling, subscribe for more true crime deep dives. What do you think? Was Mary Bell a victim herself, or a born killer?